Views expressed here are not supported by and do not reflect those of the Evening Rush Network. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Yes, yes. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. We do our own effects. Clap it up. Rah, rah, rah. And this is Plug with Molly and Joe, the Mental Warriors, with our brother, our co-host Zakaria Yisrael. It's Thursday, another week of trying to get plugged into to the mindset of positivity. And the topic this week, the skin we're in, is such a good way to speak to that. You know what I mean? To start having us, start really wrapping our minds around the positive people that we are and the amazing people that we are. You'll hear it throughout the day, throughout this show. First and foremost, I'm gonna introduce you to the host. That's Joe down there. Joe, say what's up to the people.
What's good, everybody? Another week to be alive, another week to tell our story.
And then none other than Zakaria. Say what's up to the people, Zakaria.
What's up, people? What's good?
So, like I said, the topic of the day, the skin I'm in. What it means to be black to you. How do you feel? How should it make you feel? We're gonna try to jump into all of those different things because it is Black History Month. But for us here at Plugged, it's always Black History. It's all about Black History each and every week. You get plugged into our show, it'll be Black History Month for you 12 months out the year. All right. So without further ado, what we do is we pay homage at this time. That's what we're doing this. No, what we're doing, we're giving flowers this time. So we're giving flowers. What we do is these people is who we believe make the ancestors proud. All right. So we're going to have a few people that we're going to speak to that. And then, of course, current events. We're going to speak to about Eric Adams. We're going to speak about Kanye. That's a definite topic that we're going to need to touch up on. All right. Joe, what platforms we on today?
Oh gosh, we are on so many platforms. Thanks for giving me the buzz. We are on Amazon Music, Pandora, Stitcher, Podchaser, TuneIn, Reasons Podcast, Google's Podcast, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Anchor.fm, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Mixcloud, iTunes Podcast, theeveningrushnetwork.com, and of course on the Evening Rush Network app, which is available on iOS and Android.
All right.
I do all that without breathing. You see?
Indeed, man. Listen, I don't know what kind of week you had, Zakaria. What's going on for you this week?
Like I've always said in the past, man. I'm trying to build a few things behind the scenes, man, and just I feel like every day just putting in a little bit of work, getting a little bit closer. I feel like I have a couple more years to go, just grinding hard, and not wanting to talk about it because then it's not really worth it until you get there.
Yeah,
but,
we know.
Yeah.
We know how that could be. You don't want to, as they might say, jinx yourself. But we don't believe in that.
I just think it's not like it's no point in celebrating or talking about plans if you're not being about it. So,
right.
Keep it down, nose to the grindstone until it happens. Then we'll talk about it.
Joe, what about your week?
Oh, very productive, very productive. A great Super Bowl game we had the other night. It was good having you and the family over. To festivals, if you will, and
I had my mama wings.
Yeah, but no, it was good. That was a good start to the week and just very productive. This week's been very productive. Middle of Black History Month had some difficulties in regards to people and. Like I said, I'm still here. I'm able to tell my story, and I'm looking forward to today's topic so we can just go in and, let the people know what we do.
Well, business-wise, so many different new opportunities actually is opening up for our organization, Big Appalachia Academy for the Arts. Shout out to Baller, Shot Caller, But yeah, man, it's been a productive week for us over here at Baller. Yeah, you can shout us out at BALAA.org, and you're going to see a lot of positive changes and a lot of positive things happening over there. Anything else as far as personal life and this and the third, of course, you're just living with the day-to-day stresses of having, a big family and wanting the best for your family. So, that's you smile through that because that's the job we're here for, right? So without further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to say who is making our ancestors proud this fine day. Who we going to start off with first? Usually we start off with Joe, right? So let's go, Joe.
All right. So here is my person that we are giving her flowers to, and a long overdue, Miss Marla Gibbs.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people don't know who Marla Gibbs is, but when you see her, you're like, oh, I know who Marla Gibbs is.
I know who she is.
Florence. Marla Gibbs, longtime actress, been acting for over 50 plus years in the business, known as Florence from the Jeffersons, known as Mary from 227. She's just been around all my life. I've always seen her in some type of form of acting. So she's 90 plus, still going strong to this day. So we got to give her flowers now, and let people recognize who she is and what she's done for our culture and community. So I'm giving you your flowers, Miss Marla Gibbs, and continue doing what you do best and making us laugh and giving us, insight on your acting. Thank you, Marla.
Yeah, man. Listen, one of her best roles that I've ever was Florence, man, over there with Jeffersons, man. Listen, she used to give George the business, bro.
That's right.
And listen,
she's actually the first person I learned how to be a wisecracking. I used to always watch the Jeffersons when I was younger. I used to always tell her jokes and be like, they're actually funny. So I got a lot of my wit from her when she would always go back and forth with Sherman Hemsley. So it was awesome.
Shout out to Marla Gibbs. So Zakaria, who do we have this week? And are we going to have a few sighting stories or have you this week or what?
Unfortunately, I haven't met this man.
Ah, man. The streak ends.
Yeah.
I thought you met everybody from LA, man.
I'll bring it back. Don't worry. To this week, I'm gonna be giving flowers to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We all know him, famous for playing basketball. He was, it's disputedly that he's one of the greatest players of all time. Isaiah Thomas calls him the greatest player of all time. So does Dr. J. But ESPN put him at number 2 under Michael Jordan. He started playing in 1969 with the Bucks, and in 1975 moved to the Lakers and played there until 1989. So he had a 20-year career, in which time he had 6 championships. He's a 6-time, also 19 NBA All-Star games, 6-time, and I think the only 6-time MVP. Also 15 NBA All-Star, 11-time defensive team. But aside from that, I want to talk about stuff that he does behind the scenes and after basketball, because I think that's relevant. He's dubbed as the social justice champion, and he does. He's actually a best-selling author and what they call cultural critic. And he's not afraid to speak out on social injustice issues, especially affecting the Black community. His books are mostly on African-American history. One of them was Brothers in Arms, the epic story of the 761st Tank Battalion and World War II's Forgotten Heroes. He's also doing a documentary. He did one in 2020 on the History Channel called Black Patriots, Heroes of the Revolution. He was nominated for an Emmy for that. But he's also doing one, I think this month on the 21st on the History Channel, and it's going to be called Black Patriots, Heroes of the Civil War. So I guess, I'm not sure if it's the same one or if it's airing again, but yeah, so just wanted to give a shout out to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for what he's doing behind the scenes. He just recently awarded Carmelo Anthony with an award for his social justice endeavors. Right now, according to what's going on. So shout out to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of the best players in the NBA, and also a great social justice leader.
Shout out to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We had the clap track. Of course, we would have been playing that. All right. So what's happening to technical difficulties? No, I'm not having any technical difficulties on my end. I'm not sure what everybody else is hearing on their end. But hopefully you're hearing me loud and clear, because what we're doing right now is we are giving flowers. We are saying who's these people that's making our ancestors proud. Shout out to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Shout out to Marla Gibbs. Mine is a personal favorite. This is like, like everybody, like people who are close to me. Even my wife knows that this young lady right here is like one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. Her personality, everything about her, I just love, especially her just who she is, Tracy Ellis Ross. Okay. Wow. Look at her. Yeah, look at her, man. Isn't that just beautiful? Like, come
Oh
on.
yeah.
What is there not to love about her, right? Like, come on. She is an award-winning American actress, producer, host, and former model. The daughter of legendary singer Diana Ross, one of the first divas to ever do it real big. Shoot, that listen, give her flowers as well. Diana Ross, shout out Diana Ross as well. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
All right. Tracy Ellis Ross has carved out a niche in the glittery world of showbiz. In a career spanning over 20 years, she has made a mark by playing a variety of roles and winning many accolades and awards. Apart from appearing in films, TV shows, and music videos, she has also established herself in the fashion industry. She is also a good Samaritan doing regular social work. While her work is widespread across the world, she has never chased fame. However, fame comes knocking at her door. Thanks to her multiple skills and determination, she went on to become the first African American to win a Golden Globe for Best Actress in a TV comedy in over 30 years. She has a huge fan following on various social media platforms. She provides inspiration and guidance to many with her skills as a motivational speaker. Her consistent performance and skills have made her a much loved celebrity, and she is one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen. She does, like they said, she does do a lot for the community. Me personally, one of her biggest accomplishments to date is her role in Blackish, and that show in itself
Love that
is
show.
one of the most, I mean, when you talk about Cosby Show, when you talk about Fresh Prince of Bel Air, when you talk about Living Single, when you talk about all of those shows that made an impact on us growing up, Blackish should be one of those shows for the youth today, and I believe it is doing so, because even the spin-offs is is great as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. Shout out to Tracy Ellis Ross, man, one of the best to ever do it. Um, yeah, all that, right? You know what I mean? And shout out to the whole Blackish crew. You know what I mean? Lawrence Fishburne over there doing his thing. I think he's executive producer over there, man. So let's give all the whole Blackish crew their flowers as well, because they deserve it. They are making their ancestors proud over there on that
Absolutely.
on that set. They're making their ancestors proud. Some of the most provocative, show things that they've shown on TV. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Great show. Great show.
they showed police killings.
Yep.
They showed the 16. I remember they were showing the Juneteenth video. That was one of my favorite episodes when they did the song. They did the little musical or something like that. So yeah, shout out to Tracy Ellis Ross and the whole Blackers crew. Shout you guys out, man. So without further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to move right along into our topic of the day. Topic of the day. Topic of the day is the skin I'm in. All right, the skin I'm in. What we're gonna do is basically we're gonna show a video. We have a message from our youth and some of our staff members over at Baller. We got some high school students. We got our producer extraordinaire Jada John. She's gonna have a few words as well. They're gonna talk about today the skin they're in. And after that, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to have a few things to say about it, what it means to us, and all of that. So, without further ado, from the kids, the skin I'm in.
Being black is to embrace my 4C hair that defies gravity, to my hips that sway rhythmically, to my skin that absorbs light. We are the epitome of everything, the architect of life and creation, full of culture that resonates the same through the deep south to the Caribbean and all the way to the motherland. What is not to love?
Who better than Tupac to sum up the response to the prompt, what I love about being black? Did you hear about the rose that grew from a crack in the concrete, proving nature's law wrong? It learned to walk without having feet. Funny it seems, by keeping its dreams, it learned to breathe fresh air. Long live the rose that grew from the concrete when no one else cared. I love being black because we indeed are roses that bloom from concrete. We are innovators. We are brilliant. And even when credit that is due to us is not given to us, we continue to thrive. I love being black.
What I love about being black is that I have a lot of great people in my history, and if I was white, then I'd be kind of sad because I have a lot of bad people in my history that studied black people.
My name is Shania, and what I love about me is the skin I'm in is my hair because I get to express myself throughout different hairstyles.
What I love most about the skin that I'm in is I love the history behind it, and I also mostly love the food. I also like learning about the culture, and I like. Well, I don't like what happened, but I find it interesting what happened in history. When I look about being black, I have all my curly hair, I have a beautiful smile, and a beautiful brown eyes, and I have all of these lines in my head, and different colors of black in my skin. I feel proud to be black because during school, when we learn about amazing things that black people did, like during the civil rights movement or any other subject, it makes me feel proud to be black.
Well, what I like most about being in my skin is that it's a privilege to be black. This is something that doesn't happen to everyone, and if it happens to you, you have an opportunity of a lifetime. And for me personally, it's taught me that I could triumph and I can surpass anything, obstacle, anything that comes my way because I know I have the strength of my ancestors around me. And I have a constant reminder because I can look down at my hands, I can look in the mirror and say I'm living proof that history still exists.
What I love about being black is how hard our ancestors fought for us and how they died or got shot for us and how they fought for our rights and how they were thinking about us. So, like, they thought about us how because they fought for rights to think about how we were gonna get affected by rights because if they didn't fight for rights, we would have the same rights to like not sit in the front of buses, can't drive cars, can't go to school, can't read. We'd have all those bad things happening to us in our life. And I'm glad that they fought for rights and how they fought for us on the streets too. So that's what I love about being black is how our ancestors fought for us really hard.
I love about being black is like the type of bond like I have with my family and like the music and everything. I really love the music and like the type of food we eat and everything. And like it just feels like right. Like to be black basically. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know, like my parents put me onto a lot of music that I really like. Like I like a lot of classics, and all our ancestors. My parents taught me about all of our ancestors and what they did for us and everything, and it's very inspirational. And makes me want to do better. Help others.
The last way I like to do is that I have a lot of fun, and I love the way how I am, and there's a lot of good things about me, and where I come from is Baltimore. I like being black because what happened to slavery, now we have more like
The thing I love being in the skin that I am because I'm black and there's something called Black History Month, and it's cool how I'm the same skin color as famous people, and it just represents a lot of my culture to me. So that's the thing that I really love about it, and people people should all be treated on the right way, how like they say in Black History Month.
I like about being black is that I can make new friends that just like me and they're not another color.
What I love the most about being black is our culture and how every second of every day of every year, our culture is constantly expanding and evolving into more and more, whether it be our hairstyles, our sense of fashion, our dialect and language, to where we live.
What I like about being black is that it encourages so much, and it shows you that you have
What I love most about being Black is our creativity, our resilience, our ability to take situations that are intended to be oppressive and keep us down and turn it around for our good, for us to create our own culture that everyone else in the world wants to aspire to become, for us to be a different kind of people. No one wants to be us, but everybody wants to be like us. And I love it.
What I love most about the skin that I'm in is that it's mine. I was born this way, and there's no answer that anybody has to know but myself. I love the fact that I'm able to walk around with power, pride, and respect, and people acknowledge me for it. Yes, there are some fallacies about being the skin that I'm in, but I'm proud of the fallacies and the accuracy.
Black on black, black, my thoughts so black, black, I'm black, my skin is so black, I'm rocking that black on black.
You still on mute.
That was pretty dope, man. Wow, that's crazy. That was, man. Whew. That was yeah, that was pretty overwhelming, man. I mean, take that all in. Them kids did their things. I'm sorry for some of the technical difficulties. We'll work on that. We're a work in progress, so we'll get that. We'll get all of that situated in the future. But the ones that we did hear, anybody want to have let's do a recap on the ones we did hear though that we heard clearly. Zakaria, you got anyone you heard that you want to bring back? And
yeah, I mean, it was refreshing to hear some of those kids have that sense of self-pride, self-love, Black pride and self-love, and reference back to their ancestors that make them feel proud. I think that's kind of a rare thing, when I was growing up, now it's coming more to light that the sense of self-pride and love is being reinstated.
Yeah, listen. One of them guys that it was quite funny to me. He said I wouldn't want to be white.
I thought I heard him say that. I was like, oh, okay. Well, let me tell you, it's not that bad if we stand in the right spot.
I'm sorry, Zakaria. I found that funny as hell. I was like,
I wasn't sure if I heard that right, but now it just
No,
sounded
you
like
heard it right.
I could
What
barely
stood
hear
out-
him. He was one of the voices that was a little lower.
what stood out to you, Joe?
I know most of these kids and these staff members were asked this question and they were able to come up with an answer just like that. So that's good to have a sense of acknowledgement of who you are and where you come from, or just having a sense of purpose. So I'm appreciative for everybody who participated in the video and answered the question. And I know those answers were legit because that's how they truly feel. It's hard to come up with something like that on the spot and not let it mean anything.
Right, and like I said, we had those was anywhere from kindergarten, first grade, third grade, fourth grade. It was and all the way to some of our grown-ups, and that was, listen, like I said, it was very deep. You know what I mean? It was very deep, and I'm proud. I'm extra proud because one of them was my son, and he spoke to some things and whatnot. So I got to shout out to my little man MJ. He was up in there, and he was able to be heard at the very least. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to MJ. Shout out to all the little people. Shout out to the high schoolers, and shout out to our teachers. I believe it was a teacher in there, and all of that.
Do
So
we get 2 hours or what?
what we're going to do is we're going to sort of let Joe make his statement, because Joe sort of did a video. We got stylish on him, and we decided we was going to do it live. So Joe wanted to piggyback over what we did and was getting people with live. Joe was like, nah, I ain't going to just live with a video. So what we're going to do is we're going to let Joe rock out right now, right? We're going to let Joe rock out right now up until our break. Go ahead, Joe. Tell me, Joe, why you love the skin you in. You tell us again. Talk to us.
All right. Well, like I mentioned before, I love the skin that I'm in because it's mine. Can't nobody take that away from me. This is who I am.
Come out. Zachariah, let's give him the floor, man. Let's go to fade to black, Zach. Fade to black, Zach.
There we go.
Fade to black. We let him get the floor. Go ahead. Talk to us.
What I like most about the skin that I'm in is that it's mine. Can nobody tell me anything otherwise? This is who I am. I don't have to answer any questions about why I'm this way. This is how I was born. We don't give the chance to pick what skin color we want to be. This is how we come out. This is who we are. So we should always be proud of who we are. Acknowledging Black pride. That was one of the major examples of anybody who should love the skin that they're in, especially if you're Black. It's proud to be Black, and it needs to be explained and detailed a lot more, especially to the younger folk, because they need to understand that Black pride is very important. It's who they are. And I think we have more people who are understanding of their pride. We would be more successful and more knowledgeable in our lives. It's a way of which a sense of self leads to a better quality of life. I tell my students and people all the time, if you know yourself, if you know of your history, if you know where you come from, you're a lot better off than a lot more people in life, a lot more people who don't know. You have an edge, an advantage, if you will, and you need to use that advantage and make it work for yourself. So for me being the skin that I'm in, this is who I am. I don't have to fake the funk. I'm gonna always be Black, and I'm a nice dark color of Black. This will never change. You'll never see me any lighter than this. If that's the case, then I have some type of plastic surgery or something, I guess.
Well, you're dead.
That vitiligo, But this is who I am, and I encourage more people to understand the skin that they're in, love the skin that they're in, and be proud of the skin that they're in.
And with that, what we're going to do is we're going to go to our commercial break. And then when we come back, we're going to let Zakaria give his statement.
All right.
This should be interesting.
Can't wait.
Looking to podcast shows and do not know where
Do
to
not
start?
know where to start? The Evening Rush Network can help you with that.
Call us at 929-441-2417 or email us at theeveningrushnetwork@gmail.com for dates and prices. We got you for all your podcast needs. The Evening Rush Network. Tune in, subscribe, and share.
All right, we are back. We are back. We are definitely sponsored by BALA. That is BALAA.org. BALAA.org. Check us out. Send prayers and all that other good stuff. We are also on Instagram at PluggedMJ. At PluggedMJ. We are also on Facebook at Plug with Molly and Joe. Plug with Molly and Joe. All right. The skin I'm in. That's the topic of the day. That's what we're talking about is Black History Month. We want to give a sense of pride, sense of Black pride, and in all these things, these are we can have a sense of of self, which leads to a better quality of life, is what Joe said, right? So we're going to bring that back as some of the bullet points as we tackle the topics, within the skin I'm in and what Black pride is all about and why it's important for us to even talk about this, why it was important for us to even show that video of all of these kids understanding the assignment, so to say. You know what I mean? They talk about that all the time. It's like, you understood the assignment. Yeah. So at the end of the day, these kids understood the assignment and they passed with flying colors. Even the ones we couldn't really hear too well, I'm sure, we missed out on a jewel or two. Trust me, I'm sure we missed out on that one. You know what I mean? And I think we need to revisit that and give ourselves some time to check it out and do all that other good stuff to make sure that they got the message through. Because I think we did the kids a disservice by not making sure that their message got through. So what we're going to do is we're going to revisit all of those kids again and do it again and make sure that they can be heard. All right? How about that, right, fellas?
We wait for the Plug documentary.
Right. So now what we're going to do is, Zakaria, you're going to talk to me about the skin you're in. Now, for those who's on Spotify and all of those other places that don't have video, what you don't know about Zakaria is that he's a brother of a different skin tone. And that's what I'm going to call it, a brother of a different skin tone. Y'all know what that means, but at the same time, y'all really don't know what that means because that's all it really is.
Now you just putting them on the edge of their seat. What is he gonna say? What is going on here?
Right. So, Zakaria.
Yeah.
At the people.
So when you told me fade to black for Joe, like I didn't really know what to do there. I was like, I can try, but I don't know how that's gonna work. But so let me just say why I'm proud of the skin that I'm in. Joe mentioned a few points that I feel like applies to anybody. You're born this way. You can't control that. You need to embrace who you are. And why I love the skin that I'm in is because I understand it doesn't define who I am underneath. So I can be proud of the way I look on the outside. I can accept who I am and how I look because who I really am is defined by what's underneath my skin, right? And also, I believe there's some historical culture to my story. I'm one of the few, quote unquote white people in this country who actually knows that my roots actually come from people of color. My father, gave me a little background that his father's father, 5 generations before his father, my grandfather actually migrated to Europe from Israel. And so we're going back into like 16, maybe early 17, late 1600s. And so we know at that time there were people of color living in that land. This is before the European migration that took over Israel, right? So that's one reason why I'm proud to be in the skin I'm in. My father raised me as one of the few non-black civil rights activists, and he raised me to be who I am without being categorized by my skin color. We stood up for what was right. You know, my father taught us to stand up for what's right. He marched in the civil rights movement because blacks were being oppressed, and he saw that where he came from in Nazi Germany, and it didn't matter what color the people were and if he was related to them or not, quote unquote. You know, he decided he wanted to jump in and stand for that because his whole family died for a similar oppressive tyranny. You know, so I also would like to mention that there's reasons why I'm proud to be black. Because if you go into American history, then you might not see it. But we have to go back a little further. You know, in ancient history, I did enough research to find out that the first human beings actually came from a place where it was a region of a hotter climate. And, you know, scientific and biblical evidence supports this fact that the first people were people of color. So regardless of any white person or black person wants to think of where your ancestors might have came from, and it's only you, it's not only you, it's all of us, you know, and having known that, it makes me proud that I can stand for where I stand today. And I'm going to end off with a quote that I spit when I used to be rapping. I said, "We're all black on the inside out. I'm only white because I shine from the skin side out."
Okay, all right.
My man.
That was a real light-skinned statement. Just to let you know, you might be just one of the light-skinned black folk. Cause that was a real pretty boy statement. You heard that?
Yes. You on your Drake stuff right now? You on your Drake stuff right now?
I light-skinned.
You know, my ancestors came from my recent ancestors came from a colder region. My further ancestors came from a hotter climate. So I just look this way because of circumstances.
But you lean on the cool side. You lean on the cool side, which leads me to my statement, right? So, all right. So basically, okay, the skin I'm in, the skin we're in, like Zakaria spoke to it, Joe spoke to it. Man, listen, I've been thinking about my statement the whole time. I've been thinking about what I'm gonna say about it. Like, what can you say besides the fact that it's the best thing that could have ever, like, you can't, like, you hit the jackpot in being born a black man. You know what I'm saying? And I feel so, and I tell you why. Because our history is so rich. Our history is so rich in righteousness. Our history is rich in doing which is right. Like, we come from kings, we come from queens, we come from teaching the world math, we come from teaching the world science, we come from inventing almost everything. We are mythically like superheroes. Like, when you look at what superheroes do, and they just come up with things, and they just take this and take that and put it together, and then all of a sudden, voila. And you look at all the inventors that we had, and all of the people that were educators within the civil rights movement that overcame people that was actually telling them they can't get an education. You can't read. How did we learn to read? Perseverance. We were some of the strongest people known to humanity. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like our show has to get us to a place of where we just are concerned about human beings. You understand what I'm saying? Because black and white is of no use to us. As you can see on our show, my brother right before me, man, Zakaria, he would not be considered a black man in our day and time. But yet, when he gave you the history on it, what is he? You understand what I'm saying? Because when you talk about the origin of man, if you say two people, a man and a woman, started all of this, whatever color they are, their children happens to be the same thing, correct? Okay, so we ain't got to go getting all technical about it. We are all family. You understand what I'm saying? We all share this earth together. Why is there a fight about what color I am or what color you are? There shouldn't be. You understand? What we should be doing is embracing one another, loving one another, trying to figure out how to save this planet that we've been beating up for so long. Come on, man! All of the stuff that's going on, the global warming, the industrial revolution is killing this planet. Killing this planet. Clearly. You You understand what I'm saying? We don't even have food. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. It's getting so deep, man. But the skin I'm in, that's why I love it, man. We are so dope. We are so dope, man. We
My
are so
brother, that was so awesome.
Great points, man. Great points.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it's usually a clap on that one, right? So we're gonna clap. All right. So I got a few questions for you guys. You know, we brought up the topic about the skin I'm in, right? Why is it important for us to have done what we just did, right? To have these kids talk about it, for me to pour from my heart. Because like I said, I thought about it. I didn't have no clue what I was going to tell the people. I'm sure Zakaria, same thing. I'm sure Joe, same thing. Why was it important for you, Zakaria? Let's start with you. Matter of fact, with Joe, I think we didn't hear from Joe in a while. Joe, start with you.
I'll say based off of this. I remember reading a message from the great George Carlin, who was a very famous comedian back in the day. And he made a statement along the terms of nobody's born to hate.
That's right.
You know, babies don't care what you look like as long as you play with them. Love is genuine, right? So for us as we get older, we tend to understand how hate rules this world in some aspects, especially when it comes to the color of your skin, and you get to see the discrimination that exists today. Mm-hmm. So it's important for these kids to understand why they're important, because 9 times out of 10, if not, they're on the receiving end of that hate because of the color of their skin.
Right.
And you don't have people there telling them that it doesn't matter what you look like. You're still as deserving as anybody else in this world.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why it's important.
Zakaria, tell me why it's important for us to boast about the skin we're in. And
because
even with the the BS you might have to go through.
Yeah, I mean, in some circles, I'm perceived as the enemy at first until I open my mouth and interact, and then I'm embraced as a brother, right? And in other circles I enter, I may be perceived as family until I open my mouth, and then I'm back recognized as an enemy. So and it's not my intention. It's just me being who I am unapologetically, and I'm thankful for how I was raised and what I've learned in life. But I think it's important to address the skin that we're in, to be proud of it, because we need to open people's eyes about the true history of our ancestors, of the world, and where we come from, and so I think that we're taught in this country to hate for behind colorism. It's not racism. That's a false term. That's a non-existent thing. There's one race, the human race. You can't be racist against yourself. You can't be racist against your own people. It should not be a term, but they've called it that because they want us to divide us as by color into races. But it's really just colorism. And so if we are, especially important for the Black culture to be proud of their skin, because it's a culture that's been demoralized and beaten down for so many years, especially in this country, that your culture has been stripped away from you. You've been taught that you are inferior. Your ancestors were taught that you're inferior. And now it's like this self-hate thing going on. There's no sense of self-pride anymore, and that needs to be reinstated. And I always say this, and I'm notorious for saying this, we need to start off with education and to teach people who they come from and who they are, and to reinstate that sense of self-pride. And so that's why it's very important.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of your statements, and I think I spoke to why all of this was important in my statement, and I'm not going to dwell on it or browbeat it to death, because I think we got enough into explaining to people why it's important to look in the mirror and love the skin you're in, and that's whether you're Black, you're white, you're Spanish, you're whatever race of people that they want to try to mix you into. You know what I mean? Yeah. One of our writers wrote in, we also need to learn to work collaboratively. That will certainly help. And that's in unison. Collaboratively, unity is the key here. You know what I mean? And that's what this show is a symbol of. And that's why I believe for a fact that we're going to get into a visible place where people start to realize what we got going on here, because I think what we got going here is something special, and it's just going to go up from here. So I'm going to just give you guys your flowers, of course, for explaining yourselves in detail about why you love the skin you're in. You know what I mean? And Zakaria, bro, I know it's a struggle for you, because when you said, like I said, when you walk into a room with brothers, they look, like you said, they looking at you as the enemy, and then you have to sway their brain one way, and then when you walk in, yeah, that was heavy statement, bro.
It doesn't always happen like that, and it's crazy because sometimes and I'm walking into, if I'm the stranger in both circles, you know, whether it be a black circle or primarily white circle, I feel like I'm more embraced off the bat in the black circles. And I don't know if it's just because of the way I carry myself or what, but I'm different regardless, just having my front lid on, you know. But anyway, I just think it's you know, it's something that it has to do. Who you are is gonna shine. It's gonna come through. You know, it's gonna show through.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, he just light skinned it. He just light skinned.
That's right. That's right. That's all. Just telling you light skinned. You still, brother. All right.
Brother, he's like, I'm just light skinned. All right. So we have some time today. So what we're gonna do is, and like I said, shout out to the kids, shout out to the teachers, shout out to everybody involved with our little project here today. It was impromptu. It happened today. We asked them for it today, and they delivered for us. And I believe they gave us jewels. Made me think. You understand what I'm saying? Made me have to make a statement. You know. So we're gonna run into current events. Joe said he don't know nothing about no drill rap, but in the drill rap world, drill rap seems to be something where these kids are sitting there and they got beef with the one cat, and the one cat got beef with them, and they just seem to be talking about it back and forth with each other and whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's what it sounds like. Well, that's what's happening. I don't know if that's what it is, but that's what's happening behind drill rap, right? So drill rap, it seems to be behind a lot of violence. All right, they seem to be snitching on themselves a lot. And our New York City mayor met with hip hop artists to talk about it. So what they're saying is, like, can the hip hop artists do anything to help, you know, curb the violence in the community? What do you guys think? Can going to the hip hop artists do anything about the violence in the community?
No, because it's not just a hip hop issue; it's a mental health issue.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't acknowledge that first, anything else that anybody else does is going to be a deficit. It's not going to help. Mm-hmm. Yes, you can point out some of the things, but that's not all. And it seems like what's going on is that they're penny pinching in regards to, you know, they're pointing out, okay, this may be an issue. This may be an issue. I've never seen so many people in this city. I'm sorry to cut you off, Zach, but
no, I was you off. Go ahead.
I've never seen so many people get assaulted on subways before. People getting pushed in front of trains, people getting shot, people getting stabbed. This is a lot of violence, and we know why this violence is happening, but the higher ups are not doing anything about it.
Mm.
They're not looking at the main issues, so they're looking for little tidbits. Yes, maybe the thought of hip hop, and in this instance, drill rap, whatever this is, maybe this might be a catalyst to some of it, but it ain't all of it. And you got to address all the issues, not just this one.
Zakaria, what do you think? Do you think any type of hip hop artist or influence from the hip hop world can sort of curb the violence in the streets?
Yes and no. Okay, so I say no because, like Joe mentioned, it's a mental health issue. I'm gonna take it a step further. I think it's a cultural health issue. I think that there needs to be more education. There needs to be more leaders. There needs to be more people stepping up. So, on that sense, if you're a rapper with a huge platform, then I do believe you should use that platform to your advantage, because, as one of the writers wrote in, our kids absorb this stuff. We have to realize how powerful our words are. You know, I try to teach my kids not to speak a certain way. Stop saying you hate this, or, you know, this person was bad or is bad or something, because, you know, our words are so powerful. It starts to mold and shape, you know, who we are and how families operate, and in turn how the community operates and what society turns into. So yeah, the music is a huge influence. But now I'm gonna get on a little deeper level, and I'm gonna cut it short. You know, let's not forget what happened to hip hop throughout the years. It's been used as a tool, man. And that tool is to shape the minds of the youth, you know, and it's to continually keep them looking towards a lifestyle that leads them downhill. It's continually breeding a mentality to preach hate and violence, you know. So at one point, you know, it was being uprisen where the hate and violence was no longer towards the black community amongst themselves, and was teaching us, look, listen, we got to fight the system and, you know, fight the power and all that stuff with Public Enemy. And even in the up to Tupac era, you know, it was teaching people, you know, about how to love your brother and your sister, and then, you know, help get out of this oppression. Those type of rap was flushed down the drain, and it's not publicized. Then you had all this
on that. I'm glad we spoke. I spoke on that. I think it was Facebook or some platform recently, where I said that we grew up on positive music, and then all of a sudden they flooded us with a bunch of gangster rap and such.
Yeah, and then when they flooded that out, they put out all this pill popping, you know, you got Rock Gucci and drink, you know, Ace of Spades and all that. And that's what the songs are about, to promote this rich lifestyle, to get everybody to spend a little bit of money, because now you're not being financially smart. They don't want the black community to grow. That's what it's about. Now the new rap is being used the same way again to incite violence, you know, because it's not, you can't get publicized unless they give you that open platform.
That's right.
So one of the writers wrote in, music is super powerful. It can alter moods and minds positively and negatively. Hip-hop culture absolutely influences behavior. I absolutely agree with that, writer. Everyone in the hood wants to be wealthy, but no one is teaching them how. So what do they resort to? Stories in these songs drive their logic. So with the person, with Jada, actually as Jada, what she's saying is basically that these people are giving examples of how to obtain their wealth through hip-hop. And the only examples that they're allowed to get. You understand what I'm saying? In a sense, correct?
No, it's not teaching them how to obtain the wealth. It's teaching them how to blow the little bit of money that they're making. You know, buy a group, live a lifestyle that you can't afford.
Right. There's no substance in the rap and the hip hop. The hip hop is just telling you to live your life the way you want to live, as faith, be as free. Don't worry about advancing. Just take what you have and live this so-called perception of what it is.
Yes or no, Zakaria? Can hip hop influence violence in the streets?
I mean, absolutely.
Yes or no, Joe?
Absolutely. It's the main catalyst, in my personal opinion.
Interesting. Maybe we want to bring that into a topic.
It's one of them.
I think that we should explore that in totality soon, because I think we need to highlight a Public Enemy and all of those other men of hip hop that actually right, because we did come from an era. Remember, in the 80s, we were talking real positive stuff. We're going to do the research, like we're going to talk about the Fresh Princes and all of them.
Well, we even got to go even further than that. We got to go back to the last poets. We got to go back to Gil Scott-Heron.
All right. So this is current events. Of course, sometimes we could get a little deep about one topic, but let's move on into the next topic, because I think the next topic we should touch as we're closing out is my man, Kanye West. Man, what can I say about Kanye West besides the brother needs help? He needs a lot of help. His behavior lately is very toxic, and we spoke on this. We spoke on acceptable toxic behavior. And I'll tell you this, Sean King, and I want to read this real quick for you guys. All right, Sean King. I believe he's an activist. I give him his props to be an activist. One of the guys that I actually like about what he says, right? So he has to speak on this. Kanye West has crossed a line into abuse, and here's the thing: he's a brilliant artist. He sometimes says smart-ish and makes good music, but he has crossed a dangerous line that I personally find very problematic, and is common with abusive men, right? Let me explain, because this whole situation is a landmine, right? So he says Kanye and Kim are separated and Kim has filed for divorce. Kanye has openly and publicly dated multiple women, including over the past month, while he has repeatedly threatened violence against a man Kim has seen and threatened the careers and names and reputation of good men and women connected to that man, all in the name of his family. But none of this helps Kanye's family. Okay. And so Kim literally texts him to tell him he has started to create a physically dangerous situation for them. And he posts the text with another meme of physical violence. So let me tell you, the only other famous person I know that does this, and this is what Sean King is saying, is none other than Donald Trump. Right? So what Kanye does is post some truly toxic and dangerous stuff about his family, then post something smart and pro-black in between dates with a new white woman. And the smart pro-black statement then buys him some time and grace for people to deal with his toxicity. With all that being said, because he goes on to talk about a few more things, a few more points. Wow. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
About that's problematic in the black community. Anybody want to speak?
Well, I got something to say just about the whole Kanye thing. You know, this is not new for him. He goes on rants, and he's known for putting out some crazy statements on social media. I mean, the man wrote the Kanye Bible, you know, and now he's backing out and saying he didn't have nothing to do with that. You knew about it. Anyway, you can see where his mind is. He goes on his rants, he has his things to say. But the point is that you're not going to get anybody to mess with them women, man. I'm sorry, man. It's, you know, they put it out there as like on social media thing. But anybody mess with that family, the men that mess with them girls, man, they turn out messed up in the head, man. Kanye was already messed up in the head. You know,
Yeah.
so this is what I hate, and I always use the reference metaphorically that this is another Kim Kardashian or another Kardashian story to keep us distracted from what's really going on. This is literally a Kardashian story to keep us distracted from what's really going on. I don't care about Kanye being butthurt that Kim left him. I don't care about what he got to say about this, because there's other more important stuff going on that this is distracting the public from.
But the reason why I brought it up, and I feel like it's important to bring up, is because it's just an example of the mental health issues that we have plaguing our community. And now it's all fun and games, and it's not fun and games, because until when one of them people end up hurt, then what happens?
That's the point that we were trying to make. Everybody laughs at it because this is his normal behavior, but his normal behavior has been way beyond toxic. And him hanging around people like Antonio Brown, who also exudes the same type of behavior, is not good. Somebody in their inner circle needs to let them know this is not cool. So, and like you said, Molly, it's going to get to a point where something fatal happens, and then people are like, "Oh, we should have done something about it."
We've been seeing it.
Right, yeah, but we've been seeing this for years. But that's the only time really people really want to do anything, is when it gets to that point. And I'm hoping for both of them that it doesn't get to that point. Like somebody puts it into it and stops it and wakes them up and say, "Y'all need some help. Y'all need to do what you got the money for it. Go get it."
And Zakaria, you know full well we're not blinded by no Kanye.
I know that. I'm not talking about us bringing it up, because I know why we brought it up. I'm talking about the public going back and forth on social media about what Kanye said and what Kim did. You know what I mean? Now if we want to talk about the issues, like I've seen posted talking about the real issue, the mental health issue, how men need to, like what Sean King said, men need to speak up about being in abusive environments and things like that, right? And you know, that's where it's relevant. But let's not get sidetracked into the Hollywood side of it, is all I'm saying, on social media. You know, look what happened to Lamar Odom, man. He needed help too. That was a mental health issue.
Listen.
Lamar, Bruce, who's the brother?
Everybody over there. Every male that went through them doors, boy. Every male that went through them doors ended up needing some type of mental health crisis. They needed help, man. And I don't know what's that to say about their family, what that to say about them women. I don't believe.
You know what's going on behind the scenes, man. I'm not gonna say it because I'm always talking too deep, but we know what's going on, man. Hollywood uses them for tools, man, and they know it. And
Right. Zakaria, you know full well I know what you talk about. And I know a lot of people out there in the podcast will know what we talk about. That's why we're gonna just keep it light.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They call it the Kardashian curse for a reason.
Exactly.
Indeed. So listen, I want to thank Zakaria Yisrael for always being there and available for us, man. Joe, the mental warrior he is, Zakaria, the mental warrior he is, man. I want to give you guys a shout out, man. I think we got some baller announcements. We got some things going on. Not sure what we got going on. We got a soiree. We got a little soiree for the kids tomorrow. Sweetheart soiree for the kids tomorrow over at our headquarters. What time did that say? That time says, oh, I can't see that. That's too small. Way too small. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn to blow that on up. Oh, okay, here we go. At 7 p.m., 1014 Gates Avenue. Sign up. You can scan the little scan thingy. I don't know. I call it the scan thingy. Don't mind me. I call things thingies. I'm sorry.
Call it QR code.
Yeah. That thing. QR code. Yep, there we go. Appreciate you, brother. What else we got? We ain't got anything else?
Briefly, just wanted to mention that that story about the teacher that got fired in Indiana because actually not the teacher, the counselor from Indiana that told the parents that their kids can opt out of Black History Month lesson. Just how this stuff is going on.
Can we talk about that one next week so we can finish up?
I just wanted to highlight that how these things are actually going on. It's still real, man.
Oh yeah, no. I think it's some of these states. Actually, some of the states, you can get arrested or something like that, or something. I don't know. Like some of these teachers could get in real big trouble teaching Black history, or what they call what's the new word for it?
CRT, critical race theory.
Critical race theory, right? All right. So what we got coming up at Baller? We got what we call adult dance class. This is Baller Legacy, Lindy Hop. Yeah, Lindy Hop. That's that style of dance that was in X when the scene where him and Spike went up into they had the zoot suits on and they went up into
the Lindy Hop was named after Charles Lindbergh, the famous aviator, and during the 1930s, and that's where the Lindy Hop comes from. So I didn't know that.
Okay. Yeah. The historian, give it to us.
Yeah, always. Hey, yeah. So I don't know if there's any more announcements right now to be had, but what we're gonna do? We got another one. Oh yeah, get ready for job readiness. This is a boot camp. This one is a little more special because actually the Phoenix Center for Youth Development is actually run and owned by none other than my wife, Tiffany Mathias. Yay! February 23rd, she's doing a series of workshops. February 23rd to 25th. Part 1 will be resume writing. Part 2, interviewing, and Part 3, onboarding. Her mission is to show the youth how to go and knock it out. Have the best resume, have the best presentation, and know what to expect when they get to the job. You understand what I'm saying? She says that her years in HR led her to feel like our kids is always behind the 8 ball when it comes down to even going out there to even compete for these jobs, right? So you're already Black, so why not go in there and be brilliant, right?
That's right.
There you go.
All right, I think that's it. I'm not sure because I didn't know how many. I think that's it. Yep. That's it. Shada, boom, 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 fire, bird. Yeah. We've been doing our own. We've been doing our own
special effects.
Yeah, we've been doing our own sound effects. All right. You know what I mean? Hold on. What he like to do? Pow. He like to do pow. Yeah, a shot. All right. So with that being said, guys, listen. It's always a pleasure to be here with you guys. I'm actually privileged to be sitting here with you guys. I guess, you know, I guess one day we'll get big headed about this and then blow up. All right, guys, let's
Yeah,
try it.
Do it.
Plug with Molly and Joe and my man Zachariah. Peace.